Hey guys, so here I am going to be reviewing this really cool C-3PO mold set I found at the Disney store. Here's a picture of it with my dumb face, but I'm just opening it right now. This guy was $16. I found him at the Disney store, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to go ahead and give it a try. They've started doing these kind of like do-it-yourself Disney projects. My sister got a sewable Mickey that she bought, and it was similar packaging and whatnot, but here's this cardboard droid that you can build from the packaging, which in retrospect turned out to be a lot less neat than I thought. We'll get to that as the video goes on, but as you can tell here, it comes with some instructions. They are very basic, and I've never used air dry clay before, and so I was really confused as to what to do. Basically, it shows you how to put the molds in and tells you that you need to knead the clay for 5 minutes, but I didn't understand that symbol. And then you can obviously build your droid. I think that it had to air dry for like 120 minutes or something like that. But being that I didn't understand, I've never done a clay project like this before, I had to go to the DisneyStore.com, look up the product and go to the details, and then it told me kind of in more description what I needed to do. So that's actually how I figured out the instructions, because there weren't any YouTube videos over them. But here you can see what it comes with, some different pots of different air dry colors. It only came with 4. And then of course you get the molds, which are really cool. I do like the mold design in this. They're super neat. I wish you got more molds than just C-3PO, but that's okay. This project ended up being enough time with just the C-3PO, so if they make more molds, it would be awesome to get, since, you know, if they just make them to fit that little mold thing. And you do have to put them in the correct order, or else it won't close. But here I'm just going to start with the yellow, because I want to make like a classic C-3PO, and it's kind of like airtight. They had a little thing over it, but you're supposed to knead it for quite a while, which is what I'm doing here. This took quite a bit of trial and error, I must say. And here you can see that the air dry clay is really just too sticky. I didn't knead it enough this first go around because I was kind of confused about the instructions. And so I kind of realized this when I'm packing it in here, but we'll see later on how it turns out. The third arm is my sister helping me, but this is actually like really weird to pack in to the mold. It's kind of difficult, actually. Maybe it's just the sticky clay. All right, and so it turns out really like visually appealing to me. I really liked cutting off the flashing or the excess clay. That part was really enjoyable, but with this one, this particular C-3PO being really sticky, it kind of ended up messing it up, because if I dropped a piece, it would fall on the other side, as you see here. I don't know, I just found this part really satisfying. This was probably my favorite part in the whole process. It does look really good in the mold, I must say. So here I'm just doing the other side. So it was the torso and arms, and then the feet and head. I actually pull out clay because I want to do a white leg, and I don't know what went wrong with my brain, but I did a whole white leg, and I meant to do just like the lower portion of C-3PO's leg to mimic his silver leg. So I don't realize this until quite a while afterwards, that I actually did it wrong. But here's where it starts to become frustrating for me. And it's just like a freaking marshmallow. This air dry clay was way, way too sticky. And so, as you can tell, it completely ruined the leg. So I did redo it a little bit, and that's basically how it turned out. Pretty derpy looking, in my opinion. But again, this was just trial 1, and this was without kneading it for a proper period of time. So yes, I will go on to make more, but at this point I'm kind of frustrated with how they're turning out. He also doesn't stand up. So here I am working with the red one now because I wanted to go ahead and use all of the clay to try to get a good C-3PO. Later on you'll see me try to implement the white leg again. I think I do it with all of them for some reason. Oh yeah, that's why. I just remembered. This doesn't actually include like enough clay to do a full C-3PO. I'm not sure why. So I kind of had to improvise and use some extra, so I had to make that spare leg. Of course, you know, I think I change it in one of them and just do the lower half of the leg. It might be this one there. Well, while I'm letting that dry, because I decided to go ahead and let the air dry clay like rest in the mold to try to get a better outcome, I go ahead and work on the cardboard droid. And I'm also really frustrated when I did this, so I kind of like ripped it out of the packaging. It's not as clean as it could be. And I'm just like trying to get this done for the video at this point. And of course the cardboard tabs, you have to glue it, and I try working with just some like kind of white glue or just normal glue for a little bit, and that doesn't work out. Here's where I switch to hot glue, which works a lot better, but at this point, you know, I'm just kind of done with it, so it's not the cleanest. Overall, this droid wasn't hard to put together. I didn't need any instructions for it. You just kind of fold it along the tabs and it comes together on its own. So that one's pretty easy to work with. Not necessarily sure that a child could do this. Definitely you need parental supervision, but it turned out okay. You could color it in, so the kid could do that. And then there's that with my derpy C-3PO, who doesn't stand up. And I accidentally stuck his hand to his leg. I don't know if you saw that. And so here basically this is when I'm just pressing the clay into each other to dry, and as I press it together, it kind of deforms, it like blurs the details, I've started to realize. And I have a real big issue with the feet with this one. In the mold, they're just really, the mold is really tight for the feet, and so if it's not all the way dry, they just totally rip off. And so here I'm sculpting new ones. But yeah, that becomes just a constant problem with this clay that they provided. It's just too sticky. And here I try it with the blue one as well. It's so satisfying to cut this stuff off. I call this one my American C-3PO. And you can see I kind of had an issue with the foot again. I kind of showed in a little bit more detail how the mold just grabs that foot and doesn't let go. So I do want to point out with this that before I go into it a little more, I actually used air dry clay from Crayola. I bought some more in a whole bunch of different colors to see if I got a better result, and I really did. This air dry clay from Crayola was really, really dry. It wasn't sticky whatsoever, and I had a lot easier time. I left it in the mold a lot longer, and I ended up just super gluing the pieces together rather than taking them out when they're still kind of damp and sticking them together, and I think that it turned out a whole lot better. So as you can see with my comparison here, here's the old C-3PO that just looks really awful with the stupid white leg. And then here is the C-3PO I did with the Crayola air dry clay. And I think that he turned out really good. So here are the first three that were with the Disney Store air dry clay. And the blue one was a little bit better. I left that in the mold overnight, but it still did not turn out as good as the Crayola air dry clay. And then here you can see my rainbow of C-3POs that I did with the Crayola colors. I really like the white one, and that purple one I actually made by mixing together blue and red. They had plenty of clay, so I definitely have some left over. So I recommend, if you buy this set, to just go ahead and purchase Crayola air dry clay. You can see I messed up with the glue a little bit, but I think that that's the best option because they're just so much better and it's so much easier. It was actually really enjoyable to make these with the air dry clay from Crayola versus the Disney Store one, so I just tossed those. But overall, it was a fun project. I had a lot of fun making this video as well, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day.